Hey, it's Shop Talk, baby. This is the show where it's okay to be you. We're talking from Yale to jail and from the church house to the fifth house. Nothing's excluded on Shop Talk. So if you don't have a phone, I suggest you borrow one. Call in and voice your opinion live every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yeah, that's right, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Don't forget to Shop Talk with your girl, because right here, oh, we keep it real. Good morning, good morning, good morning to my lovely people. How are we doing this fine Saturday morning?
We are blessed and highly favored this morning.
Okay,
Yes.
I see how you feeling, Sister Betty.
Yes.
I
Exactly.
see how you feeling. All right, all right. I am not mad at you. So what's been going on? Keep me updated on your life. What'd you do this last week? Since the last
This
time
last
we
week,
met? Yes.
I worked and trying to get prepared for this move, this big move. So
Okay. All right.
getting
You say
motivated
you
and
work. That's it. What's exciting? That's the norm working. You know what I mean?
yeah, excited. I got some good news last weekend after the show. I got offered something, but I'm gonna keep that under wraps for now. When it's time to let everybody know, I'll let everybody know. But yeah, it was
Okay.
big. It was big.
Very good. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. The what was I gonna say? What did I have going on this week? Everything.
Yes. What's
Every
going on?
everything but I guess nothing at all.
Oh, okay.
But it's a lot. Let's see, what did I have going on? I had everything. Like, what do I want to do? Thoughts in my mind. What's the plan? Looking at the news, the media, and just like, oh my gosh, here we go with this. They
Right.
talking about the whole COVID thing. But did you see the shirts that are out? They have shirts out now that I've seen several people in, and it says they're trans vaccinated. Not vaccinated, but identify as being vaccinated. I said, I can't. What's your thoughts on
You
that?
you know what? People need to stop playing. That is not cute. That is not trans vaccinated. Wow.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna pretend. No, I'm not vaccinated. I'm still feel the way I feel about that right now. I mean, I know more people are getting vaccinated, but until I am completely sure of that vaccination,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing it. Period. Mm-mm.
You heard her. Look, I'm like, she said she ain't doing it. You heard her.
Not right now. It got to be another year or so before I'd be like, okay, y'all go ahead, stick me. And I don't like needles anyway. Mm-mm.
No, 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 no. Huh? No, 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 no.
That would be a no. That's a no, dog. Mm-mm.
that that is so funny. It's really interesting to me that they're talking about Nicki Minaj real bad because of the tweet. There you go. I was gonna say post, but I get all confused with the different social media sites. Um, the tweets that are out, and she posted the tweet. She almost posted what 24 followers, I believe, and she posted about her cousin. And I know this is old news, but I gotta bring it up, okay? Remember when she was saying about her, a friend of her cousin said that he was getting married and became sterile or impotent. I don't know which one it was. I wasn't paying that much attention to it because he took the vaccine. Do you remember
Hmm.
that?
Yeah.
And so everybody's giving her the blues. However, in that, and it was re-quoted, it was quoted 41,000, yeah, 41,000 times. Yeah, they re-quoted her. They do the retweet thingy or whatever it's called. I hope I'm using the right terms. But that's what they end up talking about her, and people are condemning her for her saying what she thought. Now they said if you don't feel like they said if you don't agree with the vaccine, just don't say anything at all. That's what most of the people are saying. Now, here's what's interesting to me, and I really want to know your thoughts, Nick, on this. People are upset because she voiced her opinion, and then they say her being an influencer, follow me, her being an influencer, she needs to watch what she says. But at the bottom of that, her tweet, and you guys gotta excuse me because I don't have it in front of me, I'm paraphrasing. It says my cousin was getting ready to get married, didn't get married because my cousin's friend got the vaccine and then wasn't able, I guess, I don't know. Was that pretending whatever? I don't know what it was. I didn't pay that much attention to it. But long story short is at the bottom of it, she said, just pray on it and don't be bullied into your decision. Now you have people who are upset because she has 24 million followers and they feel as though that she's an influencer and she shouldn't be influencing people that way. However, you have the ladies of The View, which is different. And I understand Nikki is an artist. And why can't she tweet and say what she want to say?
Exactly.
And then you have the ladies of The View that say, okay, everybody needs to be vaccinated. And the reason I'm bringing this out is because it's like, if you don't say what we want you to say, we have a problem with it. But for the sake of conversation, that's why I wanted to say that. But I believe in, everybody has their own choice and should be able to do what it is that they want to do. But what's your thoughts on her being considered an influencer?
To young people, yes, but she didn't say anything wrong. She just said don't be bullied into it. And you're exactly right, because like you said, it's okay for the ladies of The View to voice their opinion about people making sure they get their vaccination with a lot of other people. But if somebody voices their opinion against it, then they're wrong. No, they're not wrong. You have to make your own decision and don't let nobody bully you. Just like that, these jobs now, they're trying to say that if you don't, get your vaccination, we're going to cut your benefits off.
Okay, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Let's stay right where we are. Go ahead, Rubo.
Okay, basically it's like this. I didn't see the article, and I'm just hearing this from what you're saying. Well, I didn't see the tweet. But if she's stating, first of all, she's saying that this person is sterile because of the vaccination. Is that correct?
Yeah, she's saying that. Listen, this is the funny part. Her cousin's got a friend in Trinidad. I mean, it's like third, fourth hand, my cousin's little cousin, sister's neighbor's daughter. Go ahead.
But basically she's saying they got the vaccination, now they're sterile.
Right.
Okay, so does Nicki Minaj have information to prove that person wasn't sterile before the vaccination? Now
that's the point that a lot of people are making now. Right.
No, okay, so
that's not, but wait. Understand who Nicki is though. Just an artist.
But the point I'm saying is, even if she's an artist and she has proof that's undeniable about the situation, it doesn't necessarily matter where you get it from if you have the proof. So proof would be that person's reproductive health prior to taking the vaccination and then afterwards. And she hasn't produced that.
You know what I said? Look, being science, I sound like somebody got syphilis and didn't want to tell his fiance.
Well, I mean, but the point is that like there are before this vaccination has ever come on this earth, there were people, men, who had the inability not to be able to fertilize an egg. If you want to just make it pure and simple. So without that data to support where this person's baseline was, and now to say that after the shot, this is what it is. So if this person was trying to have a child prior to the shot, what was the problem then?
They weren't married yet.
Oh, that's not really a big problem.
They weren't married yet. They're getting married, and I guess.
Did they know each other? Did they know each other?
Who knows? I don't know.
They didn't have not one pregnancy scare. Not like, oh my God, I left it in too long. No, not like pull it out.
You know what?
Not one. Okay, but the point I'm saying is that like, and that's a joke, but if we want to really look at this from a really scientific point of view, we have to know where that person was prior to that situation and where they are now.
Okay. Now here's where I'm going.
or my issue. They are blaming her because they call her an influencer, but they call Kim Kardashian an influencer. But we know by definition, an influencer is somebody who inspires someone, or to me, and this is my definition, inspires someone hopefully to be better. But we know that that's not the case. An influencer is like a salesperson. You know, it's like, okay, let me get you to sway this way. But I don't put, and this is not a jab at Nicki Minaj, but the things, and it might be where I'm at, everybody puts whatever they want on social media. We had a president that was putting banana stuff that was off the chain on Twitter, and we knew he had no facts, but it is who's going to believe her. So I guess like Roland Martin and all of them are feeling as though that she has almost 24 million followers, so she can influence them not to get the vaccine, because I believe it's 61% of United States citizens that are partially vaccinated now, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, please, please, please. Trust and verify. There you go, air quotes. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Trust and verify, like look it up, listen to what we say, and just think about things. But like Nicki, I wouldn't be looking to her for science. Actually, I ain't even looking for her for rapping, because it's like Cracker Jack rhymes to me. But go ahead. Like, would you be more apt to listen to the ladies of The View dealing with science versus Nicki Minaj?
I ain't gonna listen to neither one of them.
Well, the issue would be is that you have a produced show versus a person that's speaking off the cuff. So if I look at a produced show and the focus, is to ensure that show has accuracy, I think that The View would probably be a stronger point of reference for information than Nicki Minaj is tweeting. I mean, because like just in one statement, I blew up her argument. Like, did you do a reproductive test on this gentleman prior to him having a COVID test?
What was his sperm count? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that one question blows her whole argument out the water.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, and don't get me wrong, I think highly of myself, but other people may not. But that, I mean,
but tweet is important.
But if I can ask that one question, and if that answer is no, then shut up.
Okay, what's your thoughts, Nick? Because Nick got it. Nick tightened. Go ahead, girl.
She tightened up the mud.
Like you saying, you know, you listen to the ladies on The View because of listen, if not one of them on the panel is a bona fide degreed scientist, I ain't trying to hear what they got to say neither.
The point about the thing about being the only people in news that are bona fide scientists are meteorologists, and they're telling you about the weather.
Right.
Nobody else is just telling you about their perception or the course of things as they lay out.
Exactly.
Now, I will say, and the meteorologists be wrong too.
Hold on. I got
For real.
Point. And the weatherman is sometimes wrong because they do their percentage. They do their projections in what percentages. Come on now.
Okay.
Come on now. I'm passing the plate.
Up.
Passing the plate. Fill up my plate.
Like
y'all.
I
I'm
said, now one of them chicks on that panel got a degree, any type of science degree. I ain't trying to hear what they got to say.
Not the attorney, not the any. They might have some broadcasting degree, communication degree. Hey, the name of this show should have been Trust and Verify. That's what that instead of the influencer.
All I'm saying is my comment just there blew everybody out the water. Like the only people in media who got a scientific degree is the meteorologists. And that's it. That's it. And they wrong. And they be wrong.
And they be giving them, they act like they're not important. That's the scientists.
I'm just saying.
They don't give them clout. They don't give them clout. Let's shout out to the scientists, to meteorologists.
Come on.
Give it up to the meteorologist. All right, a round of applause. A round of applause for
As long as he get the weather right, we'll give him a shout out. Ooh, come on, get the weather right. If you tell us it's gonna be sunny and it's gonna be 90 degrees, and then it's turn around and you gotta turn your heat on because it's only 50, 55 degrees, and you wrong.
Rubo said they deal in percentages. That's why they say that. A 90% chance of rain. Let's be real. And you got to look at it, even with physicians. You know, the doctors, it says the physicians practicing medicine. So let's keep it where it's at. But I wanted to ask that question because I'm like, they're trying to put to me. This is me, and I want to know your views. This is my view. I feel bullied. And so I understood what Nikki was saying, like, don't feel bullied and pressured. It's like, okay, tell me, what is this when you say, and I didn't say if I, took the vaccine or not, because I want people to make their own decision, because I too realize each and every one of us, let me just say that, each and every single one of us, everybody that goes outside, every person you meet, you are an influencer. That's today's footnote, but I had to put that out there first because somebody is looking at you and they're critiquing you and don't know. They do an assessment. They kind of like glance like, oh, okay. And let me tell you how minor it is. And I know he can't stand the Kardashian. This is how minor it is. How in the world is Kim, who made a sex tape? I'm going to put it out there, and there's supposed to be another one that, what's his name? Whack 100 is putting out there with Kim, where she got famous. Kim and Ray J video is another video that's like, worse than that one. Nobody really cares. You know why? Because if you see the other one, it's like, okay, whatever. And he's talking about getting it to Kanye. Who cares? Who really cares about who she slept with? But she's not an influencer. And I don't know why they deem her an influencer. They deem her an influencer because every last one of us are an influencer. That's why. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rugo.
They deem her an influencer because she pushes a product.
What? Sex tape?
No. She pushes the dash. They have she
came into that. Yeah, her mom.
But still, the thing is that, like, if you are selling something, I mean, this is even when you look at the whole issue with the law, the voting rights law in Atlanta, and you had Coca-Cola coming out against it. The Coca-Cola is an influencer because not because they have a market share. They have a market share that's influenced by their product, right? So think about it like this. I was thinking about this the other day. Does McDonald's really need Justin Timberlake to say I'm loving it? No, I've been eating McDonald's since You Deserve a Break today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need that, right?
Are you loving it? Are you loving it?
But the point is that, like, it's more beneficial for Justin Timberlake to be tied to McDonald's than McDonald's to be tied to Justin Timberlake. You know what I mean? So the issue is that you have a person pushing a bullshit product like Kardashian.
Where the bell?
I'm trying to find it.
Ring the bell, crack the Liberty Bell twice. But the point I'm saying is that, like, she's pushing a product that means nothing to anybody. It doesn't nourish you. It may help you feel better intrinsically. It may help you, like, want to be more nosy about how the rich and famous live. But at the end of the day, the reason she's an influencer is because she can command 1 million people to watch an episode of nothing. An episode of nothing. Think about that. Like, I'm going to consume your life with a half an hour of something that is not going to improve you, not going to give you insight to anything else. But in some people's minds, they see it as pure entertainment. Therefore, those people who chime in, well, let's see who wants to advertise during that time. Who wants to advertise? If I have 22 minutes, you have 8 minutes of advertising to do. Who's willing to pay what to advertise during that time?
Well, and what are they advertising? And that was 30 minutes of nothing, but it was hilarious.
Yeah, because it was people who came about to say, let's make a show about 30 minutes of nothing. Let's talk about these things that are probing questions that people have that no one is willing to answer. Let's talk about the the awkwardness of what it is to just be in society. You know, that's something. Here it is. I got to watch somebody talk about they're getting their nails done in a photo shoot, and that's supposed to mean something to me.
Supposed to.
Well, I mean, like, I will reduce myself.
It's supposed to.
Reducing myself. Yeah.
Okay. Good morning to those who are just joining in to Shop Talk with Mel. You lovely people know I got my co-host in the building. Let's give it up for Rugo, the movie guy. And then we got, look at the bow. Pardon. Then we have Nick, the voice of the community. Let's give it up for.
Hey.
I ain't quick. I don't even know where my mouse is at. I got to use my hand as the cursor, and that's bad. If you want to join in this conversation, just remember, lovely people, you can also text us, okay? Or call in live. 619-902-2287, 619-902-2287. And join in the conversation. And we also have our viewers on here as well. Let's go to a viewer. Annette says, people speaking on with agreeing with you, Google. Speaking on the Nicki Minaj situation, people make comments and don't know all the facts before they make the comments. It's inappropriate. Now, my thing is with that, I just Nicki is Nicki. If I want music, I'll go to Nicki. If I want facts, I'll research it. I'll hear what you say and then go from there. Speaking of the View, how about Kamala? Are we doing Kamala or Kamala? What are we doing?
Isn't it Kamala?
Okay, Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala.
That's what we're going with, Kamala. We was talking about last names of people.
You know what though? It's talking about that. If I'm mistaken, or has she been like the quietest vice president in the history of the world? Because you don't ever, I haven't heard anything about her since she's got elected.
You know,
like just answer that question for her.
You know, now that you brought that up, well, I guess she sent on duties. I don't know, but I will say this: who was the one who just left with the fly?
It was Pence.
Pence, yeah, him with the great, nice gray hair though, nice hair. Pence was the most popular to me.
Oh, Uncle Joe Biden.
Uncle Joe, yeah. The now president.
Yeah.
Was the most popular.
Uncle Joe was the most, in my opinion.
Well, maybe it's because of what I do. I had a lot of coverage on Pence. Huh?
He was the funniest too, though, for real.
Especially during the debates. Like, yes. Uncle Joe beating that dude's head from, where is he from, Minnesota or something? I don't even remember that guy anymore. You know, but
he put him down. He put him down.
Oh my goodness, Uncle Sleepy Joe, whatever you want to call him, he put that dude in a vice grip. He was like, "I'm gonna make sure that this boat come loose." Clap.
There's a tire.
Because that was amazing during that Obama administration.
It
was amazing.
It was. I can't take that from him. But back to Kamala. But we know people like Tamala, man, it's spelled the same with a K and a T, so should we be calling her Tamala? Anyway, she was on The View, and let me just get that point out. She was on The View, and before she came out, they tested the women of The View who were all vaccinated, and Sunny, the attorney, and Anna both tested positive, so they had to remove them, sterilize everything, and it was just, I can't remember the young blonde's name, but Joy that were there, and then they were taking questions from the audience before she came.
Where was Whoopi?
She wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah, she wasn't there. But she came on The View. Before she came, they tested it. And I wanted to say that both of them were vaccinated and tested positive, and they had to be removed. Look at Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
I'm just listening right now.
Okay. Okay.
Like, yeah, that just proves that kind of proves the point a little bit. Just because you vaccinated don't mean you're not gonna get it still. So why is everybody pushing it so hard?
So your ass won't be in the emergency room, taking away life-threatening care from everybody else. Like we need that care for other things like car crashes and bicycle accidents, not your sick ass who won't get a shot.
The great beyond Allah, whatever you want to call him. has blessed me thus far, and I'm going to continue believing in him until I decide to get that vaccination.
Okay, all right, that's all good. That's all good. I just hope that no one breathes on the same muffin that you eat.
No
The
what?
baker. It's the baker. Listen.
That's all I'm saying.
It's the baker. Because you remember when it first came out, and it's so funny because let me tell you, while we're talking about this, like below it, it's giving me all these ads popping up, get COVID information. So I guess that's like the key word in the algorithm. The baker. Do you remember this? I think we talked about this on here. Yes. When it first came out and someone passed away, and then somebody brought a pan of macaroni. I think this was in Columbus, and they brought a pan of macaroni over to the house because that's what we do. We bring food to the house, and everybody in the house ended up with COVID. And I believe it was Columbus. Don't quote me on that, but it's a true story. So here again, trust and verify. Go check it out. And all of them got it. And remember, at the beginning, we didn't know for sure. Well, I said it was airborne because, like I said before, everybody that in service didn't use the same ink pen to sign in. But they were saying contact at the beginning. You remember that?
Mhm.
But when you say breathe on that muffin, how do we know that these workers don't have it?
Well, that's because they want people to get a test and get the vaccination. So the issue is, so if you do happen, because yesterday I had a contact with a stranger that was probably, I was like, why is this guy within like 2 feet of me? Like it felt really uncomfortable. Like I got dizzy.
Oh no!
I'm like, he's too close. You know what I mean?
You know what?
I know, and it's weird because we social distance so long that it's like you're not supposed to be there.
But I'm like, but why you all this close? Like you in my like, is this too close even for regular interaction? Like, why you so close? Back up.
Like you trying to blow on me.
Yeah, I was like,
What? That is crazy.
You're too close. I had to take a step back. Like you're too close.
Can I share something with you?
Absolutely.
COVID? Now, in April, I was in Houston with family. And
don't tell the family's name and don't say what part of Houston.
I'm not going to say the name, but I was in Houston with family. There was 30 of us together.
Oh.
Two of the family members, two of the family members did not realize that they had caught it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't realize it until after they went back home and got tested when they went back home. Because these are two very responsible family members, especially the one because she's in the medical field as well. Mm-hmm. Had they realized it, they would have canceled their trip. But they didn't realize it till they went and took the test because they was around everybody and we were in, where we were at. That's why they took the test when they got back home and realized it. Well, anyway, long story short, out of 30 of us, 7 got COVID. Then we were all together, hugging, kissing each other, loving our family. Out of 30 of us, only 7 got it.
Nick, I gotta say one thing though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's a lie.
Yeah, that is a lie. That is a lie. But for you not to be back, you sure pushing it.
Yeah, she be like
checks everywhere.
Hey, she like
a skydiver. Like, yeah, I'm like
she like a skydiver. You like a high-speed motorcycle person. You know what I mean? Like you one of those people that be popping wheelies on the freeway, ain't you?
Don't remind me. Look at her mask on.
I'm just saying. Exactly. I mean, that's a lot. That's like almost a third of the people there got infected.
Yeah.
I think you're blessed and highly favored. I think God giving you an opportunity to get a shot so your ass won't be in the hospital.
You see, there you go, trying to influence somebody.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Bully.
I'm just saying, like you gonna be on one of those commercials. I'm just trying to save you from being on one of those commercials like a smoker, where they be like, this is now. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to save you that.
I was a smoker too for a long time.
And listen, Nick said she tried to prevent from being on one of those class action lawsuits in 10 years.
Thank you. Because that's the thing, though. There is not one medicine that the pharmaceutical companies make that don't, including vaccinations, that don't cause a side effect somewhere or having an adverse reaction at something. Not one. So everybody's pushing this vaccine and you don't know it, and this, you don't know if this hasn't caused this. There's not one. I want somebody to please, because I'm gonna do research too. I want somebody to name one medicine, just one, that does not cause any side effects or might not have an adverse reaction.
The thing is that you'll never get that answer, because even if you say it like this, you have homeostasis, right? You know what
Homeostasis for those
is
is your balance. Go ahead.
Yeah. So technically, food will throw you out of homeostasis. You know, so the thing is that, like, we got millions of people who die from diabetes, you know.
Yep.
But if you take away medication and you just look at the root causes, some of it with their type, correct me on this, Mel, if you type 2, that's because you have you've taken on too many sugars.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, so what you're asking,
and it's hereditary.
It could be
hereditary
as well. But you know, so what you're suggesting there is that, like, the reason why these things exist is to stop something that's far worse than the side effects, unless that side effect is death. You know, then you get a whole other issue there.
Okay, let's go to the viewers. Are you finished? You want to go to?
Yeah, I'm done.
Viewers, because they're going in. Mr. McKay said, "Look at the age of the people that are being influenced." Okay, and then he actually said, and this is from a viewer, listening audience, not from us or the guest or the host on Shop Talk with Mel. He said that the two ladies on the View, talking about Sunny and Anna, 2 hours late. Let me see what it says. The two ladies on the View tested negative hours later. Now, how do you, and see, that's where the confusion is at, because it's like, okay, I tested positive and now I tested negative. I'm so confused. And that happened to someone close to me. And in their situation was, they said that they were vaccinated and they tested negative. They went somewhere else and they said they weren't vaccinated and they tested positive. And so that's where it keeps, you know, you got to do the research for yourself. Let's see here. Miss Annette said, yes, taking the vaccine, you can still get it, but not as bad as without. Survival rate is higher. But here's the thing, and I have to put this out here. It depends on your immune system. And with Rugal, and I can say from the other side where Rugal said, you know, he wants people to take the vaccine because stop taking up the beds for the people with the heart attacks, broken ankles. Maybe their life could have been saved if the bed wasn't taken up with somebody who refused to get a vaccine. Now, I want to go up here. Ms. Rudolph said, actually talking about your comment, Nick, about the side effects of the medication. And she said, so you won't take any meds. And that's the truth. If you focus on the side, and every single one of the side effects of medication, if you look at the end, it says death.
I stopped taking my meds a long time ago.
Girl, listen here. Medication, I'm going to say this. Yes, God knows and he's going to take care of us, but God got physicians out there. And he said, here, take this to lengthen your life. Like, and what Rugal was talking about, like diabetes, you have your different medications. I won't say any, diabetic medication, but those things are to help you, for, longevity. Now, I do want to say this for Miss Annette said, we all took vaccines as children. Not true. Not true. Because now the ones before, back in the day, me and my mom was having this conversation, and she was saying back in the day, they would be in school and they'd be like, everybody lined up and they got those big things on their arm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, polio.
Yeah. So, but as I know some parents who, well, they're grown now, they didn't believe in vaccines. And you remember me sharing the story. They didn't believe in vaccines due to their religion, you know what I mean? Or their culture. And so everybody didn't take vaccines. And there's a misconception of you can't get in school without a vaccine. That is inaccurate. That is inaccurate.
You need a excuse based off of your religion.
Absolutely. So that's inaccuracies as well. And I hear that constantly, like, well, we did this before, and I like the View. I'm gonna shout them out still. You know what I mean? And Joy mentioned that. She was like, we all got not true, not true. You know what I mean? Because some people, honestly, when they know better, they do better. Some people just don't believe in it or introducing anything to their body. Now, let me tell you this. I do have an issue with the people that say, oh no, my religious belief, I'm not taking the vaccine. Meanwhile, you got 1,000 tattoos. You're introducing that ink to your body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Come on. And your body, you have to build up antibodies to fight that off, because that's a foreign body that you're introducing to yourself. So again, we gonna get off of this part and keep on moving on with the show. But you have to make the decision that is best for you, and don't feel bullied. We had that
Right.
no bullying. I can't remember whose campaign that was, the no bullying thing. But I sure remember Nancy. Just say no to drugs. Look, just say no. I remember hers. But you have to, don't bully people. Don't feel like, okay, if you're not on my side, you shouldn't say anything. And back to the Nicki Minaj. And I think it's wrong how it's like, okay, if you're saying what we want majority people to say or going along with us, all is well, you could just put it out there. But if you are disagreeing and saying your thought and it doesn't concur with what we're trying to say, then, oh no, we're against it. You shouldn't be saying it. So shut up, pretty much. Come on board or shut up. And that's not okay. What's happening to America? All right, let's see what else we have here. Okay, so I was looking at the viewer. Now, influence. That's why I said influence versus salesman. What's the difference? Yeah. Okay, there you go. Thank you, viewer. Annette said, you know who the no bullying was? His wife, and he was the biggest bully, the one we just had. That's right.
My goodness.
Look, now you know that's sad. Listen, that was a long 4 years. I'm like, I don't remember that one.
Child, wasn't it?
Everything, what's her name? Like mine, Melania. I was like, what's her name? I just want to forget all of it. I ain't even lying to you, like just that whole time, like, let's just forget it. All right, speaking of influencer, oh, you know what? Talking about him, Trump, he is warned by the judge to obey his the subpoenas out there over his taxes, and he still ain't obeying.
And they still ain't putting his butt in jail, because if it was anybody else, they'd have been under the jail by now.
Now, why is that, Rugo?
Basically, the statute may not leading towards jail time.
Because he's like, no, you're not getting my taxes. He meant that. But here's what's interesting. Now, him being an influencer, this is silly. Now, him being an influencer, because we see what happened, the insurrection, all that stuff. But then you have those of us who look like this guy, like he can't influence me. You know right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's people out there really listening to this. Let's go to the White, let's storm the Capitol. You know what I mean? So he too is an influencer, but it's up to us to choose who we're influenced by. Now, let's talk about this R. Kelly thing real quick. I know Ruben can't stand R. Kelly, but
for years, it's not new hate.
And it's not. Look. You know, I used to be like, and I still do. I'm like, hand sanitizer. This is pre-COVID. This is pre the trial, pre R. Kelly's trial. He did not like R. Kelly. Okay.
Yeah, 2000. Not actually 1997, 6 maybe.
You talking about when you got with Leah?
Yeah.
Now let's break this case down real quick, and it ain't gonna take long. It's gonna be real quick because you know that the jurors are his fate is in the jury's hand now as of yesterday. Now he is being tried for sex trafficking. All those women coming up, help me understand, all those women coming up and sharing their stories, that's not sex trafficking, because to my understanding, sex trafficking is like transporting or exploitation. You know what I mean?
So this is the situation with when you talk about sex trafficking, and you think about also Matt Gaetz, who's a Republican representative from Florida. What happens is if you take a minor and you take them to another state and you have sex with them, that's trafficking.
Okay, because I'm like, my definition. Okay, go ahead.
So this basically is this like, you know, if R. Kelly took a girl from Oklahoma, took her to California, that's sex trafficking.
Oh, you know what? See what now that you brought that up. Hey, if you want in on this conversation, feel free to do so. 619-902-2287. 619-902-2287. And you guys can text as well. Now you brought up something. Remember they were saying that he had other like people working for him that would fly the women across, to different states. So he must have been thinking about that. Somebody in his camp had to let him know that they're a minor and that's sex trafficking, that's illegal. Somebody had to be saying something. Now that I think about it, now that you explained it that way, because I'm looking like, is he going to get off again? Because sex trafficking versus these adult women saying how he didn't feed them, how they weren't allowed to talk to men and all this other stuff. So I was kind of confused.
I think is if they can prove that there's one minor that moved with him over, to another state and had sex with them, then he's pretty much dead to rights. The adult stuff, I don't know how that's gonna play out, but I don't see how they let him pass on the child stuff if it plays out how I'm explaining it.
Okay, especially when he had that woman and that they were saying that a lady would fly him, you know what I mean, would get their plane tickets and all this other stuff. So that, when you mentioned that, I'm like, oh, wait a second, because he did have other people, doing his stuff for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, is he going to get off again? And I don't know if these women honestly are looking for financial gain, because he's broke. You don't have no more money. It's over. How do you feel about this?
You got royalties. The money is never over.
Yeah, because some places are still playing his music, so
especially if you get exonerated. You know what I mean? So
now the radio's gonna be blowing up if you get exonerated. What you think?
Hey, they're gonna be playing I Believe I Can Fly.
Listen, that ain't nothing but the grace of God to get up on this one.
It will become a church song once again.
And the crazy thing about it is, if they exonerate him, he's going to continue to do it, because this will be the second time that he got off, and it's like he's not going to learn a lesson from this. He's going to continue to be a pedophile.
Might learn a lesson off of this one. They said on the wall, and this is hearsay. People don't trust this one, because I ain't been in the jail that he in or the prison that he's in. They said he wrote like his next album on the wall. I said, oh, in the prison. Probably did. But I think he a nervous wreck. And then, you have people who have gone through things, but that doesn't mean that that's an excuse for you to hurt. And I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty, so don't be jumping on me. But if you have gone through something, I think that's where that saying hurt people comes from. And then you go and you do the same thing that hurt you to someone else. I remember having a young man on the show back in 2011, and he was molested. And we were sitting in the studio, and I looked at him across, I looked at him in his eyes. He was across the station, the whatever counter from me.
I remember that show.
You remember that? And I asked that question, and he couldn't even answer me. So I knew the answer. Now, in my mind, was I not happy? I was not happy because he couldn't answer, but I loved his honesty. And we spoke after. I said, you need to get treatment. And, from there, I still keep in contact with him. And he did follow up, and he understood what I was talking about. But I did appreciate how open he was, because he could have just said no and lied. He didn't say anything. He just put his head down, and I knew the answer. Tragic. Tragic. Now you're dealing with somebody who went through something, and now they have money and they're sitting on the top of the world, and everybody's happy to be in their camp. I told you guys when I met him, he seemed a couple. We were at the Ritz-Carlton in Pittsburgh in the lobby, all just chilling, having a good time in the lobby downstairs. And his conversation was a couple sandwiches short of a picnic. And I could tell that there was some delay. I was like, he's slightly delayed. So, and not to justify his actions, because you can be a certain age, but your mindset is younger. And it was like, and usually you have those talented people that are delayed. Look at Missy Elliott. Boom, bam, blew up. You know what I mean? Hone in on what your talent is, but don't harm other people. But they had him as an influencer, and he influenced his people around him because they just wanted a piece of the pie. But how much would you do, and you know it's wrong? And I think that's probably why those people weren't up there. Like, again, I have my own thoughts, just like I do with OJ, but that's just my thoughts. He all innocent. But
We have a viewer.
my court, who?
A viewer said that he shouldn't be going down. Richay, she said he shouldn't be going down by himself. Those parents and the team need jail time too, because
See, that's where I was going. Okay, wait a minute, wait. That's where I was going. They do, and that's exactly where I was going. Those people enabled him, and that's probably why they got up. Some people got up on that stand. I don't know if they lied or not, but it sounded like they probably did to save themselves too, because you enabled this guy. You like, he's sitting on top of the world, like this is it, and I want a piece of the pie. But if you know something is wrong, how can you stand
right
for something that you clearly know is wrong? Or you think of your little cousin or your little sister, you know, your family member, niece, like that's crazy. It's nuts. And then they were saying, and this is alleged, I'm using air quotes for a listening audience. They said that her mother knew, and God bless and rest her soul. I don't want to, be putting it out there like, okay, she gone now. But I feel like they're like, her name is like, they dragging her too. And her family probably like, oh my gosh, here we go. We got to relive this thing. All right, well, I know you want to move on. I know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
You good? Okay.
I'm gonna say one thing though.
Go ahead.
Everybody was wanting to kiss R. Kelly's behind. He obviously did not come across the right woman, because we got some women out there that would have put him in his place, and obviously he didn't come across that right. What?
He did. Because she spoke on the, what is it, Surviving R. Kelly? Oh yeah, he did. He did, but you have
Oh
those.
yeah, you're right. Sparkle. But see, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. But here's the thing. Here's the thing though. You can have that one, but some people, they don't care. They're just happy to be attached.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And that's, it's like, but then he said like he ruined her career, but she could have went somewhere else. I don't know. I'm not those people, and I don't want to harp on it too long, but I just want people, stand in your own truth and know that you're going to have to face judgment. And if it's not right, don't do it. Don't do it at all. All right, let's talk about the Delta. We got the Delta variant going on out here. Besides that, we got Delta Airlines. They banned 1,600 people on the no. They put them on the no-fly list.
Hold on, you sounded real. There's a vote. There might be a audio issue.
What'd you say?
You were sounding really.
I was talking about the. Can you hear me now?
No, we can hear you, but it
We
sounded
can hear
like
you. It's just
like LL. Get off this walkie-talkie. I'm that little PJ. I'm not too bad for you. Understand?
Oh, that's terrible. How about now? Am I okay now?
No.
It's still on the walkie-talkie? Okay, hold on.
Like I mean, it may not be an issue for the show. It's that retro, yo. It's that retro.
Okay, y'all should tell me like that.
No, it just happened.
It just switched.
Happened.
Oh, it just switched. Okay, let's see.
Okay.
Am I good now? Am I better now or no?
No, it was.
All right.
It's like.
All right, let's do this.
Or like like a speaker blew or something like that. You know how when a
Yeah.
speaker blows
All
away.
right, how about now?
Yeah.
Yep. There we go.
I'm good. All right.
Yeah.
Because keep me together, you know? Like what the heck?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
it
we
just,
said something.
it just switched when Rugal said something.
Oh, okay. You said like LL. The Delta variant. Let's okay. We got the Delta variant. This was a question, real quick. The question was, you got the COVID vaccine, and now they have another one, the Delta variant out here, another type of coronavirus. So you have the Delta variant. Does the Delta variant? Does the COVID-19 vaccine cover the Delta variant coronavirus? Good question. I don't know that answer. I'll research it for you, lovely people, and I'll get somebody on here that can actually explain it to you. But do the research on that one. I don't know, and I appreciate the question because I can speak on the flu vaccine, and this too is a virus. A virus with the flu vaccine. Now, this I know. You can hear me okay? Do I sound like a walkie-talkie?
Okay, cool.
You're good.
Okay. With the regular flu vaccine, when we had, they go and they test it, and you hope that that's the actual flu virus that that comes around when you get the flu vaccine. We lucked out with the H1N1 because that was the actual virus. That was the one. So if you got the flu vaccine during H1N1, you were good. So that's what I can say about the regular flu vaccine. You hope that's the one. I can't answer for the COVID, but I'll definitely check into that. Okay. And I don't want to give you guys misinformation at all on this, but research it, look around and do it for you, research it for yourself. And then I'll have an answer for you or some type of answer for you next week. All right. So like I said, Delta Airlines they banned 1,600 people from flying. And what they are trying to do is they wanted to go across all airlines. So you got 1,600 people on your no-fly list, but they want every other airline. They want to share that information with every other airline. Do you think that that's right?
No.
Why?
Well, no, actually, let me retract that. Yeah, they need, because like you said, those 1,600 people would be like, okay, I can't fly on your, so let me go over here. So yeah, they
Okay,
should.
what's your thoughts, Rugal?
I think the only issue is tied to let's say, for example, I was deemed not worthy to fly on their flight, but since then I got the vaccination or something like that. What is the ability for me to be able to get a flight with that other airplane if my behavior has changed since their rejection?
Okay, I agree with you, Rugal, and that is, I think it's nuts. And yet, let's say this: if I'm on Delta, and I'm just speaking hypothetically, if I'm on Delta and an airline stewardess or whoever has a nasty attitude, came to work that day and treated me some type of way, and I responded, not that I did anything physically, but then they decide to put me on a no-fly list. That's totally unfair that I am on a no-fly list across the board because of somebody else's behavior, even though we do know that you respond in your way. Your behavior does not determine how they feel that day. You have to be in control. But I don't think that that's okay. And then they are the competition. So I'd be like, come on. Long as you know what I mean? And how did you get on the no-fly list? And usually it's a whole bunch of mouth. It's a whole bunch of mouth and not all physical. Go ahead.
So this is not related to COVID. This is just related to they didn't like, they made it up. They were upset because we canceled their flight and we didn't like the way they responded. So therefore they're on our no-fly list.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I thought this was totally related to COVID.
Oh no, not to COVID. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. If the airline wants to accept that information, that may be good in some cases if there's some sketchy behavior. But if I get on that list because I'm just unsatisfied with that company's performance, that could be definitely subjective.
And you know what I thought about? I thought about how much money they lost during the whole pandemic. Well, we're still in it, but how much money they lost. Remember, there's like $50 flights here, 25 pretty much, $25 flights. I'm joking. but they lost a lot of money. So how much money will they lose? Will they be like, oh, okay, no, all right, well, I guess I'm not allowed to fly. I'll go ahead and drive. You know what I mean? Because let's be honest, there's a lot of people still, that's out there that's still afraid to fly.
Mhm.
So you have that. Did you want to comment on that, or are we going to go to a viewer?
Who, me?
No, I'm asking either one of you. Viewer?
Oh,
Okay.
viewer.
Okay. Ms. Gibson said, if Elvis can get a pass to forgiveness, so should R. Kelly. Sorry, but I'm still going to step in the name of love.
Elvis?
Yeah, I guess it was some issues with Elvis.
Yeah, he was considered a pedophile too.
Yeah, remember he married that little girl.
Well,
Mhm.
Priscilla, are you talking about Elvis? Because he was
And
with
Priscilla.
Priscilla Presley. I mean, I don't know what her name was, but I don't know how old she was. Now, if you're talking about
Elvis
goodness
Johnson.
gracious, great balls of fire, that's a different issue. But I don't. Let's see here.
Okay, you look that up. Now here's my next one. When can you date a friend's ex? And Nick, you know this is your question while you're looking around. When can,
If
okay,
they are a good friend, like your ride or die, your best friend, never. If it's an associate or an acquaintance, I would give it some time.
now here's where I'm going with this. Nick said never. What if your friend dated everybody in elementary? That was my boyfriend then. So like you done dated, there is nobody else to date. What, you know what I mean? Like, and you're adults now, because you do have those that feel like, oh, okay, well, that was my boyfriend then. Oh my goodness, she dating. Come on. If they're free and you release them, they should be free. So do you not ever release all the 500 people you dated in the whole town or wherever? Go ahead. Did you get the information, Rugo?
Listen,
Yeah, she was. Looks like she was 14.
I thought she was 14. Okay.
Yeah, he was in his mid-20s, but she was 14. She like in this picture, I'm like, she's an old looking ass 14.
listen, my grandma was 14 when her and my grandpa got
All
married.
right, let's stay on the show. Let's stay on the show. Roche said that whole friend. Now that's what we talking about. That whole friend have been with everybody, and then you just can't date anybody because that's their ex, and they done moved on and married to somebody else. They're married, and then they still talk about their ex, and that's not right. How would you feel, honestly, Rugo, from a male's perspective, of you're married to someone and they're upset with their friend for their friend dating their ex?
I'm married, but they're upset that their friend is dating an ex.
Yeah, like she'd have moved on or he'd have moved on, and you're upset that they're dating your ex. Yeah, that's it. There is no but. That's it.
Do
you think that's selfish?
She is always free to leave. If you're that upset, go ahead and go after that love of your life. Don't let me stand in your way.
Okay, go ahead, Nick.
Me personally, like I said, it depends on our friendship. And then if you are really good friends like that, or that's your best friend or whatever, and it was somebody that she dated in high school or like in elementary or dated in high school, have that conversation. She may be okay with it, or I may be okay with it.
Did you just say, okay, did you just say had that conversation? Somebody she didn't date in high school. We've been out of high school for 30 years.
But some people just be in their feelings about stuff.
And you have to have that conversation.
If that's your friend, you want to be, especially if you already know how your friend is, and you know if you date Bob, and she dated Bob in high school, and you know how she thought about Bob, even though she was somebody else. Have that conversation. Be like, listen, girl, that was high school. Like, but me personally, nah. My best friend.
I got you, but I mean, just overall, like, wow.
If you know how your best friend is, and if she really felt some type of way about this person, no matter who it was, yeah, just be like, listen, what do you think? Because you done moved on. Y'all was in high school. I kind of like him. He kind of feeling me. You know, have that conversation with him. If that's what you really want to do. That's what your best friend. But like I said, if it was somebody you just cool with, and bye. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But a best friend, yeah. I mean, and if this best friend then moved on, now put it this way: if she
moved on,
then moved on, she ain't gonna care.
So there's no time limit. No, some of them do. So there's no time limit. Clearly, there's no time limit of dating a friend's ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, because I know some that have a whole fit. If you date somebody, you know, I used to mess with him, but helper, you mess with
everybody at the Bristol Hotel.
Listen, exactly. You dated him in 1979. This is 2021. You still mad?
Child, like for real. You know, because you could be missing the love of your life, and if you had that whole friend, just like Mrs. Gibson said, you out. Like so you ain't supposed to date nobody because she done checked off everybody.
Honey, listen, I'm gonna run like that.
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again, please?
Siri, really? I have a friend like that too. That yeah. And as soon as you mention somebody now you know I used to mess with him. Now you know I used to mess with him. Now you know I used to mess with him. But damn, who didn't you mess with?
Right. But that's where the issue is at. But
the thing is, when this friend was messing with this one, and this one, they had women.
What?
Yeah. You know I used to mess with him. Yeah, but you was messing with him while he was with this one, and you was always speaking to her.
Oh, so they wasn't even the main chick.
But still get an attitude.
I think people need to just move on, especially once you hit a certain age. It's like, I mean, I really don't want to be with somebody my friends have been around, but I'm just overseeing all this extra and the reasons to argue, and why are we still acting like high school when we are grown?
Mm-hmm.
I want to put out there the Gabby, what is it, Petito? That's it. Remember the young girl that was documenting her life that went missing? Her and her fiance went across, I guess, driving across country or whatever, and then she went missing. They had different people having an issue of thinking that they jumped on the fact that, and she had a bunch of TikTok followers, that they put more attention on her because she was white versus the attention on Black missing people or missing persons.
It's been an ongoing issue with us, and you know, yeah.
Rugal, do you see the disparity?
I don't know who the people are you're talking about.
A young white girl went missing in all the news media coverage, and then there's Black people that go missing and they don't get the same media coverage.
Yeah.
Nope, not at all. They really don't.
It's been well documented about the disparity in coverage, and even, you know, the law enforcement actually serving and protecting us versus condemning and potentially killing us. That's not a.
You know what's so interesting? What's interesting is that I went on to TMZ, and it's her all over their page, like different things, the visual, the whole nine. And I'm not trying to sound rude or insensitive, but it's like, okay, you know, and not that her life doesn't matter, because it does, but it's like, I see us a lot of media outlets that are covering her story and her being missing. And I was listening to Nancy Grace. I used to love Nancy Grace.
I never liked Nancy Grace.
Why?
Never.
Why, since the little
Worse.
baby? Remember the baby?
The worst. I don't know. I just never I never liked Nancy Grace.
Why?
Just never. Nothing about like, I mean, after that whole OJ trial or whatever, you know what I mean? It was just her person. I didn't like her.
You believe that she just made a decision and she went off of that?
She used her position for celebrity like most people do, but I just don't like her. I've never, like, after it was what was the show? It was Cochran and Grace, right? Was the show they used to have where he died?
I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know that show, but I just know that a lot of her things. What's a little I don't know why I want to call the mother Tiffany, but she wasn't the young mother who, and she said the grandparents was looking for the daughter. Remember, the daughter was missing. I can't, I put that stuff out and didn't get new news. I liked her from there, but I will say that you are correct. She's quite entertaining though to me. But you are, when she makes a decision, she makes a decision. And it does seem as though that there is a lot of guilty until proven innocent with Black people versus a white person, they're innocent until proven guilty. And it's like, when is that going to stop, or do you think it ever will?
No, it will never. We had a Black president and it didn't stop anything. So no.
We had a man choked out for 9 minutes, and the first thing they said was, "Well, what his guilt? We got to look at his guilt. He did something bad before,
What is that about? What is that about? You have, and you know what? Even locally, I remember that one young man. He got murdered, and do you remember this? When it was a few people that got killed, I believe, but what they did is pulled up their criminal record. They pull up their criminal record after they are murdered.
Guess
Why
what?
is that?
If they weren't involved in criminal activity at that point, or even if they were, there is no reason for it, especially when you can have a white person, and this is nothing against our white listeners, please understand. But when you can have a Dylan, whatever his name is, go and shoot up in a Black church, kill people, and the police talk to him the way they do, treat him the way they do, take him through the Burger King drive-through. But you have a young Black person maybe being too rowdy, or somebody that was out celebrating their their bachelor party and then end up killed by the police for what? What did he do? You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, it's not gonna end. And I hate to say this, because we need to stand together and we really need to fight this. But I'm sorry, y'all, this has to be brought up as well. Until we can unite and be that one mighty fist, this is not going to be fixed. We have to fix our community first so that our community can fight against this, period, hands down. We still got Black folks fighting amongst each other. I don't like it. I don't want to be around that one. We still got rival gangs and everything. If we can get everybody on one page, which we will never, and that's a shame, but if we can get all of us on one page, we would be able to fight that. Maybe we would impact what's going on.
I think that we have impacted what was going on with the Black Lives Matter. That's why we got so much kickback. All lives matter. You know what I mean? But it showed that everyone came together, like seeing these injustices. Mr. McKay said Black people have to keep on speaking up. Just what you said, Nick. When there's any inequalities or injustices, or folk will keep covering it up. So we have to keep bringing that to the forefront. And some people feel as though that is beating a dead horse. Animal lovers, that's just a figure of speech. I'm like, oh, the animal people don't get me. But we have to keep speaking and keep saying things. And I love the millennials. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love the millennials. There was a thing where it's like, okay, are you gonna march? And I remember being that age, like, yes. And even like with Martin Luther King Jr., all of them, they were younger, getting out there. They're like, no, listen, y'all ready to march, y'all done pray, y'all done did everything. Y'all go ahead and keep doing what you're doing, and we're gonna do this, and we want to see action. And then boom, everybody nervous and scared. You see what happened. And now you want to be out there in front of the White House with barricades and stuff like, oh, it's about to be something major. But then when you saw the difference,
exactly.
You know what I mean? You saw the difference. So it's like, come on, but we're always on. And you know what? Let me say this too. I hear this constantly from, some white people. Why are you guys so defensive? And right. And okay, for the listening audience, Nick DeVoy, she just put her glasses on her nose, and Rugo just chuckled. If you didn't hear it, Rugo, I want you to answer that. I didn't even answer it. I said, listen to the show. But go ahead. I said, I'm gonna ask that question.
Maybe I'm lost to understand the context of what this person is talking about. But
it was just a random.
But let's say like this: when you think about people, when you think about people who have been subject to slavery, injustice, discrimination, all other nations that's out there for generations, all you know is defend. How can you not defend yourself in a situation where?
Wait, Nick, you gotta wait. Go ahead.
I'm good. Let her chime in.
No, this is what we get. Oh, that was so long ago. I mean, you guys get off of it already.
Everyone else can reflect on their history and the atrocities that is put against them, except for us.
Exactly.
And that's only because the descendants of the people who did it are the people who are saying, why are you so defensive? And this thing is because because the argument then is, well, we're not the ones who did it. Yeah, but you are the ones who may perpetuate a system that is against us. If you don't see the damage of the past of your ancestors to go and if you don't see that damage and you're not looking at that and saying, how can I further correct it, then you're part of that problem because you want to deny that it even happened. Versus taking a stance and saying, well, I understand that these people made these terrible decisions. How do I make society right going forward? Now you never hear that argument. You hear it from some people, but for the most part, no one's talking about, the correcting the sins of the past. And that's what we're asking for. It's a correction of the sins of the past that have been perpetuated in our everyday practices, even though they may be far from bondage, they are very much aligned to keep you down.
Okay, go ahead, Nick.
No, I'm just saying I'm part of that system where it's split down the middle, but because of the color of my skin, I'm on that side of the fence instead of this side of the fence with my family. I have family members that are white and come from white people.
We all do. Honestly.
And it's just
so let's focus. I want to let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Nick. Let me ask you this because I don't want to get off topic. I want to stay right here. How do they fix it? So that question was brought to me. He actually answered that part for the listening audience person, my 10 followers. You tell me, how do you think they could fix it where we don't feel so defensive all the time?
Child, listen, them fools ain't gonna fix nothing.
Okay, now see, we not going to call them fools.
I'm talking about my family. I'm talking about
no. Okay, well, no, we're not talking about you in general. If somebody came to you and asked you that question, what would be your response?
How can we fix it? I mean, be a little more sensitive to what our ancestors went through. Be a little more sensitive to what our ancestors go through. I don't care if it was 400 plus years ago. Be a little more sensitive, because we are all, like you said, we are all human beings. None of that should have ever happened. We were treated like animals. We're not animals. Like, and some of them still see us as animals. We still get called monkeys and little, we are not animals. We all, when you cut every last one of us, guess what? We all bleed the same color, red. So you skin us alive. We look the same. So be sensitive and look at it from that point of view.
Okay, so you said be sensitive, so acknowledge.
Acknowledge, exactly.
Okay, go ahead, Rugo. And I know you touch bases on it a little bit.
I mean, basically, it's like this. You get people who say, "Well, I don't feel that way," but the issue is that you may not feel that way, but who have you influenced to feel the same way that you do? And then look at the overarching policies that people say they have an issue with. So if there's an issue with voter rights, then understand why people are talking about voter rights. If there's an issue with housing, understand why there is an issue with housing. You know, the thing is that you taking the stance of saying, well, I'm cool, so therefore you should be cool with me, doesn't mean anything. You don't be an advocate in the sense that I'm just gonna be, hey, I'm on your side, when you don't advocate for the larger injustice that happens upon us. So that's the main thing, is understanding, changing the perspective of what those things are, being aligned with those efforts to let other people understand what those injustices and disparities are. You know, just to say you're against it doesn't do anything from that perspective, when you're one who may have the voice of many, who may have the ear of many to change their voices, I should say.
Okay.
We do have a lot of white people that stand with us, and we definitely have to recognize that. We do, and we thank you. We have a lot of people that stand with us, and we do thank you. But you know, we need your voice to be heard a little bit more, because you may be around people that, you know, and that feel the opposite that you do, but are influenced by you because of whatever reason. We need you to voice and just keep voicing it.
Okay. You want to add on? No. All right. We want to talk about. Let me ask this: how insecure do you believe this generation is?
Very.
You say very, Nick? Very insecure? All right. What you think, Rule?
I would say 50%. I mean, there's a lot of insecurity, I would say.
And isn't it interesting? You're given, and I don't want to say everyone is, but I'm just making a blanket statement. You don't really have to work for anything, because let's look at the music industry. And remember back when you had your producers, you had your scouts, even in sports or whatever, you had scouts, they went out and they looked for talent. Now they don't even have to do anything. So they're not even paying, they're not losing anything or paying you for your talent, like with all these likes. Okay, you got 10,000 or 10 million followers. It's like, oh, okay, well, let me go ahead and sign this person. I'm just using this as an analogy as far as like music. Oh, okay, well, look how many followers they have. Boom, I'll get them on my record label. I'll get all of their followers too. So they're the ones that's actually building the record label. And then they put out this garbage music. Sorry, not talking about how insecure, I'm helping with the insecurities, but the music isn't worth anything to me because they didn't work for anything. And then all of a sudden they just throw them away. Do you think that could potentially be the issue?
That's some of it.
What do you think, Rugo? Because you see how the artists, you be like, who are these people?
I was gonna look more towards the aspect of people being more exposed.
Go ahead.
Like
Go ahead.
The youth of today, it seems like they put themselves in a situation where they have no private life. You go to social media to express your joys, to express your failures, to express your unhappiness. Like all of those things are sort of like the common response is, let me go public. You know, and I think that leads to that leads to a level of insecurity when it's like, well, let me pretty much wager how the society feels about my situation versus me finding true confidence to be able to work through those particular issues. You know, so I, you know, when I look and I see like, oh, you know, you have a video of somebody saying this, or they want to show that, they want to flaunt this, you know, like, who is that for? Is that because people may like it, or is that because people may criticize it? And then if you get that criticism and you feel badly about it, how do you pose, you know, then what's the argument posed against those people who spoke out against you? Well, they hate me, they don't like me, they're making me feel bad about myself, when, you know, at the heart of it, no one would even know to feel a certain way had you not put it out there for them to make a decision on that feeling. And not to say that people should bottle up who they are, but I'm saying you made the active decision to put your heart, you know, beyond your sleeve. You put it on your computer screen.
Mm-hmm. I feel you on that one. I definitely feel you on that one, and they do. There was a magazine article that I read, and it was saying 10 things to know that you are insecure. And I was really outdone by it. I was really, really outdone by it. And what it actually said was, you overshare, what else was it? Yeah, you overshare your posts, you post everything. Pretty much you were saying exploitation all day long. And that's what they're doing. And even with the music, like I said, that was my analogy. It's like you're putting yourself out there and you're making everything public that nobody has to work for or spend money. And that's why it's easy for, and the reason I use the music, because everybody wants to be a rapper. They want to be in the music industry. You see Justin Bieber, he was a success. That's what I think Usher discovered him on YouTube. But you have now these artists that are just around for a blink. And I'm like, who are these people? Oh, they're rappers. Okay. In their town, they know who they are. So they're big fish in a little fish bowl, and or a big fish in a little pond. Yeah, big fish in a little pond, and they know them, but we don't know them. And it's like, then they dropped off. Then you see like the reality shows, like you said, everybody's going public. So you have the reality shows, and even with the reality shows, it's like, okay, so you want to be exploited? Look at that young man. What is it? Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, that PPP loan. He got like 17 years. Did you see that? They're coming back for the people with the PPP loan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of fast though, because it hasn't even been a year. So how do they know?
Fraud is fraud. They know you ain't no company.
Exactly. They know.
Shit, lock their ass up.
A lot. That's what I'm saying. I work in that with that and all that. And yeah, we've caught a lot of people right before they got their checks, but there's so many people that already got their checks that we have not been able to catch yet, but we getting them.
And they getting there. Because our thing is like, shoot, they didn't dump out all that money. Get that money to the student loan. To people who got student loans.
Right.
Oh,
Maybe
I would love that. I would love it.
Bias, you know what I'm saying? But I should have been able to sign up for $20,000 free to get out of that crap. You know, or at least be able to have the ability to go back to school and get another degree.
That's funny. On my job, they call me protecting the pole because I sniff out the fraud. Trust me.
She sniffs it out.
A lot of them.
Now, Rugal said, "Go ahead and let them go to jail publicly." They're being public, so let them get arrested on the show. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta publicly. So it's public humiliation now.
I mean, it ain't public humiliation. I mean, it's a reality show. It takes part during your life. Guess what happens during your life? Your ass might go to jail during your life. So if you choose to have a camera there or choose to pull one out, what's the difference? You know,
flashing and flaunting publicly on So hey,
Because let's think about it like this: we ain't talking about a person that pull out their cell phone and start recording an arrest. We talking about a camera crew that's following the mug. I almost cuss. I changed the mug.
I got my bell ready though. I got the bell ready.
That was gonna be too hot for TV, too hot for YouTube. That F word. But the point I'm saying is, think about it like this: a camera crew is catching this. It ain't like I'm being pulled over. Oh my God, let me pull up my cell phone. The officer, I'm filming you. You know, you get a production crew behind you, a director, somebody who could easily say, "Cut, don't film this." No, they took all that good old footage, Why they take that? Because it ain't about that person's outcome. It's about the drama they can sell to you that's gonna tune into that BS.
I'm tuning in.
Lord Jesus.
I'm tuning in. But you know what? It's so crazy though, because at some point you should be thinking like, okay, should I commit fraud knowing I'm on this reality show?
Yeah, you should commit fraud when you're on that reality show because you already living the life of a fraud. Well, you even being on a damn show. You just doing what you've been doing.
girl, he just been bail worthy all show.
All right, everybody go. Let's show it off.
Lock them up. What they say? Lock them up.
Right. Move on. What's happening in the movie world?
Well, basically, it's like this. Currently, I'll tell you this, I haven't watched any new movies as of this point because I've been kind of tied up in my thing. So going back to the small screen, the big release of the new season of Doom Patrol was released this couple days ago. And I did tune in to watch that. And from that, I was very interested in where it's going. I didn't really get to see a lot of it. I did fall asleep. But I'm interested to see that new season. Along with that, we have Teen Titans, which is in its eighth episode of its third season. And it's pretty good, but it is going to rehash some characters from the past, which gives me the ability to think that where is the storytelling going overall? So we're in a situation where you got some things that are being played by the numbers, but it should be pretty entertaining until we get to the point of where we need to be this October, with the first thing that I'm interested in going to see is the new James Bond film. I was going to call it Time to Kill, but it's No Time to Kill. No,
okay.
Yeah. So so I'm interested in seeing that movie going forward. We did have the Emmys, and I think we spoke about that a little bit, but we had our show prior to the Emmys, and Ted Lasso, one of my favorites, took away a lot of hardware from that night. Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actor, actress, and I think one of Best Comedy or whatever like that. They cleaned up. It's a really great show. They deserved all that effort. However, the hardship behind those that win is the fact of those who have not won. And Mr. Anthony Anderson has not won an Emmy for his work on Blackish over the past 7 years, and that is sort of a discredit to him.
It is.
So you look at those sort of things, even when you see people, shows that are on the rise doing well, you see people who get snubbed, if you want to call it a snub. They get snubbed year after year after year. Granted, Ted Lasso is a new creation of sorts, being in his second season. The issue is that there's 5 other seasons where Mr. Anthony Anderson did not get the opportunity to win that coveted award. Which may benefit. I mean, it may pay out for him later on in life. Maybe he'll end up getting some sort of award. Maybe he'll get recognized for the talent that he is. But that was
Did Tracy Ellis get anything?
No,
she got snubbed as well.
No, she didn't get it. I don't think Blackish got anything.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Along with I think Lovecraft Country. It might have got a technical award.
Okay.
They didn't get anything. I don't believe they got anything either. And I'm finding it hard. And my thing was that Journey Smollett was again 100% excellent in that movie. So it was. I mean, in that show. So there were some things that there were some great talents who got recognized as a nomination, with those nominations and not turn into the hardware of an Emmy on their desk or whatever you were with them. But yeah, so those things were there. The biggest winners of the night were The Crown, Mayortown, and Ted Lasso.
Okay, what were you excited to see on this year's Emmys that wasn't on any of the other Emmy award shows ever?
I mean, I guess I was interested to see their take on Cedric the Entertainer being the
host.
You know, but
What'd you think?
Outside, that, I mean, it was
Basic.
fun. I mean, it was fun, and none of this stuff is like gonna be overwhelming entertainment. Basically, you're just in there to see the shows that you've watched over the last season get the award that you think they should have.
Well, you know what I like?
They could just give me a list and like give me a list of winners. You know, I don't.
And you'll just read it and be like, okay.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, that should have went that way. Like, you know, what's the whole? I mean, you're already counting up the stuff. You know who's won prior to that, but you're just giving the showmanship to say, let's build it up and let's talk about this. I thought it was interesting how like and I'm forgetting his last name, Kay Williams, the guy he played he was on The Wire.
The one that died?
I think it was Michael K. Williams. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they were saying that maybe they should have gave him a nod to win for Lovecraft Country. And,
do you think he deserved it, or do you think they wanted to do it because he passed?
He was good.
He really was. He's a good actor.
Lovecraft Country was just so good to me. It was just so good. You know, and not to say that because he died, he should have got. Not to say that because he died, he should have got recognized. But it was just such a good and pivotal role when you talk about his character and what that character had to go through during that era. And that speaks to more or less the writing and the genius behind the show. That show should have won in other categories, even if he was not to win for his acting. You know, but it's, you know, all of this is subjective. You get so many votes from people who feel a certain way.
Subjective, right? Let me complete the magazine article that I was talking about. The 10 things insecure people do on social media. They said oversharing, like I talked about. And listen, people, don't allow me to I'm sharing from a magazine article. Don't take this in and say, oh, maybe I am insecure. Know who you are if you do some of these things, okay? Just know who you are, and it doesn't mean that you are insecure. But according to this magazine article, they say people fabricate this, say that they're insecure, okay? It doesn't mean that it is you, and you don't have to think, just check yourself, okay? Reevaluate yourself. All right, so they had oversharing, they had fabrication, and people do be getting on those social media sites just making up stuff. Some people do it just for entertainment. Selfie overload. Now, I say you look for attention with the selfie overload, okay? And I want to say this is Madame Noray or something like that. Selfie overload. You always want to take selfies because you want the likes. Over publicizing your relationships. Do you see that? I think that's nuts. And let me tell you why, because especially that person that keeps in a relationship is complicated, out of a relationship, in a relationship with the next person, and you're keeping people on notice as far as like what you're doing. And why do you care about what strangers think? Kind of like what you touched on, Rugo.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why do you care? Like your relationship, do they really care? You know what I mean? What about the people that spaz out on you because they say you're not supporting them, or on social media? Nobody supports me and blah, 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 blah. They say that they're insecure. They highlight material possessions. I think it all, and the fun police. I think it all stems to wanting, I wouldn't say insecure, I just wanting the likes or needing to be validated or need that cosigner. I don't think it's just all just insecure, and you know it's such a fine line. But sometimes people reach out to be like, am I wrong? you might be, before you put me on the no-fly list, let me go to Facebook or social media, Twitter or Instagram, to say this entire situation, and I need people to be on my side to tell me if I'm right or wrong. And then, they delete the ones that tell you, like, you shouldn't have responded that way if you don't agree. So what you think? Do you think it's just like you need that co-signer? Or is it really insecurities?
I mean, there's one thing about seeking wise counsel, and there's another thing about, just want people to know, your thing.
You said wise counsel. Well, Facebook got the doctors and the Facebook counselors, everybody a counselor. You know that, and everybody's a doctor, and everybody knows it. And then you got those, yes, wise counsel. I'm being facetious. How you feel about, Nick? How you feel about the Facebook counselors?
With their Facebook degrees, they are funny. They are really funny. Especially when you have those giving their opinion and telling you what you should do about your life, about a particular situation, when in real life y'all doing the same thing or you going through the same thing. How you gonna tell me how to live my life or how to do this right or whatever, and you don't know what you doing?
So are they really living out loud or living a lie out
loud? Some of them are living a lie out loud.
Okay. Because
people,
go ahead.
Some people are living a lie out loud. Some people are voicing their opinion if they're like on Facebook because they're actually afraid to.
Yep, she froze on me. Okay, I lost you. Rugo, you there? Okay, well, I lost her. I don't know what happened.
But you,
there you go.
Always bragging. But it's all for the back of the person that you're with.
Okay, I got half of that because you went out on me.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, it went out on me. I was like, I lost her. Okay.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, we have some people who get on social media and brag about everything and talk mess, but you bragging off of the back of the person that you're with. You didn't do the legwork. They did.
Okay.
But that's what everybody on social media is doing now.
Okay. All right, I want to give today's footnote, and today's footnote is, like I was telling you about, I told y'all earlier, everybody's an influencer, but influencers are dreamers. They are leaders with a vision, and that's each and every one of you. I think people need to know that. All right, lovely people, that is our time, and I thoroughly enjoyed each and every one of you for joining in. I thank you for the viewing audience and the listening audience. You guys write this number down, 619-902-2287. And if there is something that you would like discussed on Shop Talk with Mel, leave a message. Feel free to do so. Send a text, leave a message, all that lovely stuff. I'll get it. Somebody on my team will get it. We'll make sure that we will discuss that. The one question that I was talking about earlier, as far as like the Delta variant and the COVID vaccine, I'll do my research as far as like the vaccine. And does it cover it? I'll do my research and look into it, and I'll talk to a few of my doctor friends, try to get some of them on, or one of them on, somebody on, to kind of give you guys some answers, okay? To get that to you. Again, do your research too. Do yours too. I appreciate that. Nick Device, before we go, I almost forgot. Who are we featuring today, honey bunny?
Well, today we are featuring
who's today's spotlight?
B&B Beauty and Beyond. Miss Nakila Adams is the owner. Her location is 2068 Mahoning Avenue, Northwest Warren, Ohio, 44483. Telephone number 330-766-5778. Her website, www.b, and B&B is spelled BEE, BEE. So
Okay.
BNBLLC.com. Again, B&B, Beyond and Beauty. There we have it.
All
Go
right. What does
check
she
her
sell?
out. Go check her out.
What does she offer?
She does, I think she does a lot of, like, she does hair that do
Oh,
like
okay.
product, like the products that,
Okay.
different products, things like that in her store. So just
Okay. We'll check her out. All
Do a little bit of
right.
everything in there. Girlfriend
Oh,
got it going on. She a jack of all trades.
Oh Lord. You know me, I need specifics. I'm sorry, everything. Boom, 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 boom. I gotta have things. What do we have? What am I looking for? And let's go. I'm looking for a tutu.
I know somebody that can make you one.
Oh, they can't make it fast enough. All right, lovely people, that is our time. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That is our time. I thoroughly enjoyed you, as I do each and every single Saturday. Follow us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on YouTube, and all socials, and see what's happening with Shop Talk with Mel. See what we talking about, all right? Because we always got something good for you, straight with no chaser. That's how we giving it to you. All right, lovely people, find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people, Shop Talk. We got to be back in the studio. So you take that right here on all your social medias and all the radio shows. I'm like, let's speaker too. All right, peace. Love ya for listening.